What's good, y'all? I want to give a quick shout out to one of our September sponsors, Ash and Elm Cider. If you don't already know, Ash and Elm are all about that cider life, crafting theirs from real, regionally sourced ingredients and doing it right here on the east side of Indianapolis. And while they celebrate cider all year round, they turn it up to 11 for Autumn Tidings, their annual fall festival happening this year on October 18th. Go to ashandelmcider.com to learn more, grab your ticket to Autumn Tidings, and discover why so many people love Ash and Elm. Rooted in tradition, crafted for today. Ash and Elm, conversation piece. Y'all know what it is.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Piece, your place to discover the untold stories of Indianapolis through the perspectives of all of its incredible people. My name is Stumbly Armstrong, and I am your host, and I am excited to be here again for a special edition of The Open Door, the Butter Edition, where we literally open the door to the bus and sit down with people in the community to talk about whatever is on their hearts. Shout out to Life in Indy, who make this series possible. Shout out to Marcus at Silver Fox Media for doing the production on this set. And shout out to Gang Gang and Butter for continuing to bring artists and center black artists specifically now for 5 years right here in the heart of Indianapolis and doing a lot of that community work. But I'm not going to waste any more time on this intro. We're going to get right into it. My guest today is Fred Miller.
What's up? What's good, Fred? So good to see you. Good to see you. It's good to be
On the show, finally.
Oh, I feel so cool.
We're gonna have longer conversations happen, but one day I would appreciate any time I get to chop it up with you. So thank you for coming through. Before we get to the board, we are gonna ask Fred to tell us a little bit more about himself for anybody who might not know who he is.
Yeah, so I'm a musician, I'm a filmmaker, photographer, poet. I do like big immersive art installations as well. I did one for Butter a couple years ago. That's under the Quantum Cavern. My artist name's MF Fred. Really, like, I care about the arts, I care about the community, and a way to like put those things together. I really feel like Indianapolis is like a special place to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity to do art. There's a lot of freedom to do art. It's just the resources and community isn't always there all the time, which is one of the things that I love about Butter, and why I spent some time making this lovely little side.
100%. Well, if you're not familiar with Fred from just having seen him out in the city or seen him at an event helping and supporting in some way, shape, or form, you may have seen him recently on Instagram or on social media with his board to breaking down a whole host of things that are happening here in the city. So I'm not going to waste any time. Normally I ask what's on your heart, but I'm going to ask what's on your board.
Hey, what's on my board? I want to talk about why Butter. I was going to put a cuss word at the top, but I didn't know if that was allowed. So if you're thinking, why Butter? You can figure out what the end is there. All right, first of all, I think one of the things that I love about Butter is that they have like a vision. They have a goal, a focus. They focus very hard on equity, and that carries across like everything they do. I absolutely love that representation and culture. So like when you think about vision, a lot of times you're like, oh, well, where are you going? What are you doing? They're growing, baby. Indiana to LA, that is happening right now. They're like working on coming to LA. They not only have like a mindset of growth when it comes to the event, but to the artists as well. And you can see that by the artists that they represent. They work really, really hard to get artists who are like at the beginning of their career, artists who are in the middle of their career and are like need that extra bump. And they do that. They make them grow like a beautiful little flower.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Realness. I was going to put equity, but I already put equity up here. And I was like, realness. I think for me, when I think about realness, it's like understanding your place in the culture, your place in the community, what you bring to the table versus who you're trying to represent and who you're trying to help. Right. There's a lot of art installations, a lot of art fairs, a lot of art whatever that don't let the artist keep the money that they created.
Yep.
This only exists because you have artists to show off their work. If you don't give the artist that money from the work that they're doing, you're not very real. You're not. It's
not real.
That is not honest. That is not real. I drew some little monies over here. These are gold coins, just so you know.
I love it.
Yeah, I colored that with yellow, so it makes it gold.
That's gold.
Vibes. you have to be here, honestly. Like, if you have not been to Butter, if you haven't been to Butter, all the cameras, if you have not been to Butter, you have to go to Butter. It is
I've been here.
top tier, fantastic, incredible place. First of all, last night I came rolling up to Turner's. I was doing a little bit of like karaoke. Turner's is a bar here in the Stutz building where Butter happens.
Shout out Turner's.
Yeah, shout out Turner's. Anyway, so I showed up. There's people just dancing in the streets. Where do you see that? Where does that happen in our community?
For sure.
They created that space. And then final point, community. Butter and Gang Gang continue to expand the art world beyond simple definitions. I think when I look at art, when I look at culture, when I look at like what is happening in the world, art is a lot more than just putting paint on a canvas.
Sure.
It's a lot more than taking a photo and making a collage and printing it out. Art is something that goes beyond that. It's an expression of human experience. And what I love is that they have expanded beyond just being an art gallery where you can look at visual representations of this art. They've gone all the way to having music. They've got what is that, Lou's Juke Joint?
Lou's Juke Joint.
Yeah. So you got live music. Clint Breeze was there last night. You got, I think, Baby Ebony's playing. We've got Bashiri Assad. I mean, there are like so many local artists who are getting an opportunity to play here among this community of art focus.
Yeah.
It's not just entertainment. It's artistic. It really, I mean, and also the like new pop-up with Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
expanding into food, and like there's a huge need for people who see beyond the one-dimensional tiny little art world.
Right.
I mean, the big installations that they put up, they transform the spaces that they're in a really awesome way. And that brings like value to the whole community.
100%.
So why Butter?
Why Butter?
All these things, baby.
Hey.
It's so good. It is like one of the top tier events. And I'm just like, I feel very honored to like have this in our city.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize like the renaissance that we're currently in. I really think Indianapolis is like in a renaissance. I think that I've seen from the 15, 16 years that I've lived here, more art being created right now, more collaboration, more community. I mean, just you like talking about this. You have guests every week to talk to, from community to art to like, I mean, every sector of life.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in the middle of something that's like blowing up like this, when you're in the middle of a renaissance, you don't realize you're in a renaissance.
Yep.
You're just living your life. You're going, day to day, trying to figure out what you're trying to do. And I think we got to like recognize that Butter is like it's like the flower from the renaissance. These are people who have been in the community, who care about the community, and are bringing up other people as well. So yeah, man. I'm just excited for Butter.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd try and make a board for it because I've been doing more of this recently.
Yeah. But not really that, but you did it, I'm pretty sure, in like 3 to 5 minutes. Like, you've locked it in. You got your phone. I try. And I appreciate this breakdown because as you were going through it, it made me think about my first time at Butter, which was 2 years ago, before I started doing the podcast in Indianapolis specifically, or even really being focused on Indy. It was me just happening to have time off of work to be able to come here, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And there was a panel going on, a Keepers of the Culture panel, that had, I think it was Maxie and Mariah Ivy. Apologies.
And I saw her this morning. She has some really cool earrings on right now. You got to see her style.
Two incredible artists, poet and then music, like you said.
Yep.
Beyond the simple definition of just art on a canvas.
Yeah.
But Mariah specifically talked about how we need to be if we want to build community organizations, then we need to be in the communities talking to the people that we're building organizations for.
Yeah.
If we're building services or if we're trying to support people and we're just bringing outside ideas into places that maybe don't need that, then we're really doing a disservice, not just to ourselves, but to those people that we're trying to serve.
Yeah.
And that was like, that conversation really helped me like sprout the seed in my mind of, oh, what am I trying to do here? And it was like, oh, I think I can have conversations about this.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm about Indy if I'm not actually having those conversations with people that are here doing it. Because before I had the show and started to do it this way, I didn't have a community here because I was deep in the rejection of my own identity.
Yeah.
So I had to really start working on myself first. Through that self-work, it opened me up to the possibility of community in this way.
Well, it's amazing, like an art thing, an art thing, a pretty thing. It's pretty art. It's beautiful. Like that brought you to a self-realization, to a journey that like, not only has like enriched your life, but enriches the community around you.
Yeah.
Like you talking about your story has given me an opportunity to tell my mom about your story, who's a conservative Christian woman who, you know, I don't know who she voted for. She won't tell me, but I'm assuming it's probably not the party that I was going to choose. But like, she's coming to these experiences of like reality. I think like the realness kind of comes back. Like what art does is it makes us face reality in a way that's digestible and also emotional. Like it allows us to be in that experience, and you see it with your own journey, with the like commitment you've made to doing this on a regular basis, to like uplifting the community, to giving a voice to other people who maybe don't always have a voice in this way. I did a couple of years ago, well, I guess before 2020, I started something called Art Speak, which was a interview, you know, platform. We did an event once a month where we'd interview an artist, and we were like, you know, agnostic to whatever their medium was. We had chefs, we had musicians, we had painters, we had filmmakers, and I remember seeing that and being like, oh man, I hope that this idea can keep going into the future, because we lost steam. We lost the team.
Sure.
The pandemic hit. We didn't really know how to like move forward from a live event. And out of that, like, you know, crumbling and that chaos comes other things.
Sure.
That like the vision is there. Even if, I think like, especially if you are a person in the early stages of a renaissance or of a big push of an innovation boom, for lack of a better term, like you are not always seeing the outcome. And a lot of times you're planting the seed that then carries on.
Right.
Like before you, it was Drink Culture Podcast, or it was interviewing people here in the city.
Yeah.
And like they had kids, they had a life, they had jobs, they had a business they had to run, and they didn't have the time to do it. And you picked up that torch. Like I think when I look at what butter like represents and what this community represents is like that continuation of that torchbearer. I mean, you look at like Black Expo and some of the vision for what Black Expo is, they took the artistic side of that vision and amplified it in a way that I don't think anyone would have ever dreamed of.
Sure.
You know, it's just being in the moment, being reactive, being like real with your community and letting them have space. Create something really incredible.
I love that. Bars. You just dropped it.
I'm just here to like hype up butter for the butter video.
For the better video. Well, this year's scene, so you touched on a lot of like your own history, my history. You talk about like how we had to be somewhere and build on a foundation in order to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
This year's theme for butter is remembrance. And so I was wondering, what does that mean to you? What does remembrance mean to you?
Man, I think remembering that we're part of a bigger story. Like we are in a stream that continues to go, that I'm going floating here in a little bit. So I'm thinking about that, but like we're floating down the river. We are in the flow of reality, in the flow of history, in the flow of time. And when you look back and remember what has come before you, you don't lose track of the future. Like you actually get a better insight into what's going on, where things can go wrong, where things can go right. And you also pave a way forward that other people are going to remember. So like the act of remembering, the act of being really, really aware of what has happened, to be thoughtful about it, to like dig into it, is what gives that energy moving forward. And whenever you face problems, because like you have to face problems. If you're doing anything interesting or innovative or new, you're gonna face problems, because that is a path that no one else has followed. And you probably realize if you start to remember, you start to learn and remember those things, someone's come before you.
Yeah.
You are in a long line of humans who have been fighting year after year, decade after decade, century after century for something bigger and more important, to take care of their communities in a way that like hasn't ever happened. I mean, we live in a utopia, even though people don't want it to be, you know? And I think butter is a great representation of that. They remember the utopia that they're in. They remember where they came from. They see the history, and they're like bringing it forward into new space.
100%. They're highlighting what's come before in ways that we are doing now through the actions of now to show what a better future can look like.
Yeah. And obviously, like I'm saying, like they and butter, like it's the people, it's the individuals, it's each person bringing their full self, and sometimes taking a step back from their full self for the story, for the future of what this thing is, giving a part here and a part there, and you know, going a little beyond. it's the work of the community. It's like if you grew up in the church, it's the liturgy. It's the work of the people.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know, just like mind blowing that we're in this stream right now.
100%. I just want to say I had Molly on the podcast this year, and she shared something about how she learned, like, you just got to read the room sometimes. And sometimes you don't always have to be the person that's up in front. Sometimes you do have to be. But sometimes it's okay to take a step back or take a step over here or maybe make a connection, and then that's what your contribution was.
Yeah.
You don't have to do every single thing because each person is bringing their own unique talent to whatever it is that we're building together, and that's what makes the whole thing beautiful.
Yeah,
So all contributing something to make the greater whole.
You can grow one big flower, but that's not a garden, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to grow a bunch of weird, all kinds of different flowers. Got some weeds in there. Some of the weeds are really pretty, man. I love dandelions, you know?
100%.
Like, you got to let things come to fruition. You got to let people have that space.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, Fred, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you educating us on butter and taking the time to make this a beautiful sign. Thanks, man. Before we let you go, last question for anybody out there right now, listening, following along, who wants to support you, follow you, find out. How do they do that? What do you need them to do?
Yeah, Instagram at MFFred, 2 Fs, MFFred. And then Quantum Cavern, at Quantum Cavern. If you like parties, if you like learning about larger scale immersive lights, if you like DJ stuff, live music, that's what we do. So at Quantum Cavern.
Fred Miller, appreciate you, bro.
Great to see you, man.
100%. ConversationPiecePod.com for everything else Conversation Piece Open Door related. Shout out to Marcus Silver Fox Media on the production. Shout out to Butter and Gang for doing this for 5 years now. And shout out to me for hosting the show. Pat, Conversation Piece. We out.